Petroleum-based fuels power the machines we rely on every day, from motorcycles to jets, from the massive to the mundane. And although petrofuels and combustion engines aren't going away anytime soon, the Navy is experimenting with more efficient alternative fuel sources to lessen the Navy's carbon footprint while reducing our dependence on foreign oil. One of those alternative fuels is hydrogen, a fuel source that tries to make this look more like this.
The Navy is interested in hydrogen fuel cells because they offer clean, efficient energy.
The Office of Naval Research and the Naval Research Laboratory are testing zero-emission hydrogen fuel cells. But how exactly do they work?
It's a very simple reaction. It's hydrogen plus oxygen equals water. What we do is, in this case, take hydrogen, and the electrons come off it. It's stripped by what's called the catalyst. And then they go around to the other compartment where there's air, and the electrons recombine with oxygen in the air, and they make water.
Research on hydrogen fuel cells is research into becoming a more environmentally friendly Navy. But there are also important tactical benefits. Take the Iron Tiger, for example.
The Iron Tiger is a fuel cell-powered unmanned air vehicle, and it's designed to fly for at least 24 hours and carry a 5-pound payload.
So ideally that means the UAV can stay out on station longer, or it can travel a farther distance, and it keeps the warfighter out of harm's way and gives them critical information in order to do their job.
And the other feature of Iron Tiger is because it's so quiet, it can fly at low altitudes undetected, whereas versus some of the engine technology, you have to fly at much higher altitudes.
All right, let's do it. Launching in 3, 2, 1, launch.
So there's sort of the consumer side of it, which is very clean, efficient energy, and for the Navy, we take that and turn that into doing missions that we can't do right now with present technology. And so as the Navy moves towards more unmanned systems and they look for high energy propulsion sources, we see fuel cells playing a major role in that.
Iron Tiger is using hydrogen fuel cells to create a tool for the frontline warfighter. But can this technology also be used to make base operations more energy efficient? Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton says yes.
Describing the fuel cell program here at Camp Pendleton, basically a partnership with GM and us to exercise their vehicles and see how they perform under real-world situations.
They are incorporating 2 of these vehicles into their daily operation. We have no gasoline on board the vehicle at all. We're using compressed hydrogen. In fact, there's no burning or pistons moving up and down or cylinders involved in this vehicle.
Because the vehicle has an electric motor powered by a hydrogen fuel cell, the only emissions it gives off are water vapors. This makes it cleaner than combustion engines. But what about safety?
I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a fuel that is much, much, much safer than any of the petroleum products that we currently use on the battlefield. The value of this program to the warfighter is the lessons learned that we're going to experience over the next 2 to 3 to 4 years, maybe possibly give those lessons learned to our Marine Corps Systems Command back east, and they could get incorporated in some of the future vehicles that we have that are going to the battlefield.
Whether or not hydrogen fuel cells eventually make it to the battlefield, the research is part of the Navy's commitment towards exploring more efficient fuels that will increase our energy security and help us become better stewards of the environment. For All Hands Television, I'm Petty Officer Brian Coverly.